Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here live on PTM Racing TV as we are here in Oxford, Maine for Oxford Plains Speedway's Light Model Stock Car Series, the Pit Stall Monday Night Series, here back on PTM Racing TV, ready to get it down here on the show. Hello everyone and welcome back to the show as always as we get ready for the racing action to kick off here. 10 drivers making the call of the day, seated in their positions, ready to come from their qualifying spots. We take a look at our starting lineup as the 14, Christian the Crusader Shire will hold the pole the outside, the 95, it'll be Robert Warrens. Row number 2 in the 88, it'll be Michael Pratt. The outside, the 84, that will be Matthew Hoffert. Row number 3 in the 5, the throttle, Chantel Bottle. The outside, in the 55, Jason Brent. Row number 4 in the 76 is Mike Wright out. The outside, in the 41, that'll be Daryl Klotz. Row 5 is Steve Clegg in the 22. The outside, in the number 20, the Old Oak, Jeff Oakes. And Warren's going to be going to the back as well. Had a second place qualifying position, which he'll hold from the pits, but he will have to go to the back of the track to get himself squared away from some situations that he ran into previously on the show. As the drivers right now prepare themselves up for the battle at hand and the race that is about to follow. This is truly one of, if not maybe the toughest racetracks they will have to face off against for just one lack of a better reason. And that is due to the overwhelming, grueling nature this track can do to a driver, testing your patience and testing your limits. It's all about how can you corner off on this almost perfectly circular track. The field ready to launch themselves off. 70 laps to the distance here, coming from turn number 3 into turn number 4. Pace car coming off this time on by. Let them rip and let them loose. To the start we go. Green is out. Let's get to it in Oxford. Big jump out of the gate here from the start. Drivers will be pretty close together out of the start here. Michael Pratt sticking with the 84 and the 14 out of the gate. Shriver and Hoffer right now trying to keep the pace up. There's the throttle, Chantel Pottle, the driver that many of these drivers are going to fear having to race against here. She is one of the only drivers to win the most here at this track, and also had a array of experience from racing some of the toughest drivers here and taking even real life late model drivers on this track down. Certainly the favorite, but right now the Crusader, the early lead here. Matthew Hoffert trying to fight with them on the outside. Has a lot more speed, a lot more run, but the tires certainly will be wearing and tearing up there. Driving too much up there, but it doesn't seem to phase him. Goes for the lead, trying to get the jump to the front. Keeping a good case and good ground clearance here. Jason Brent, the number 55, now swinging his way back on the outside here. Big run coming off some of the corners here into the depths. Every driver for themselves still. Nobody getting the advantage just yet. Those trying to take it easier, trying to be a little more careful. Including the guys of the 95 of Robert Warrens and even a few others like the 76 of Mike Rideout. And newcomer to the show, Steve Clegg in the 22 Gatorade machine. It's his first on-air appearance in quite some time, but it is good to see the old Flag Manheck on the track. If you remember that name, he used to be one of the drivers that was racing on the Tuesday night series, the Monday night series, before we ever came to this show and the Pushing Limits end. Now comes full circle as he races on another Monday night series here, but of course broadcast on the Tuesday end, but that is alright. We still treat it like it is what it's supposed to be. Field encompassing still on the back half right now. Currently Michael Pratt in the 88 dealing with pressure from the 5. Chantal Pottle trying not to get too much of a run off of that. Now the 84 and the 88 going to go down at it, while Shriver continues to keep his distance, holding only that bottom lane, just giving himself a little bit more gas to push it through. You're going to have to use that bumper eventually here. There's no getting around it. You got to get inside there, and you got to kind of push the luck and push the limits up on these things and just make everything work. Darryl Klotz knows a little bit about that too, and he's right now trying to stick with them as well. But the tire wear here again, it's such a grueling process. It really forces and hampers some of the drivers' ability to kind of stay in control of their own destinies. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's really going to kind of phase them out a little bit here as they get longer and longer through this race. The old Jeff Oakes, number 20 right now, currently holding the inside lane there from Jason Brent, but Brent with the problem there, going way too far wide out through turn number 1 and 2, and then Jags 55 has to pay the price. You just can't make mistakes like that and think you can get away with it for too long. We saw what happened to Hofford a bit ago there when he tried to drive the extreme outside line. Ended up giving and surrendering the position to the throttle Chantal Pottle. Robert Warren's the 95 here currently. Just being very cautious, optimistic here. I think really he's just trying to let these drivers burn up their own stuff to keep up with the leaders and then go from there. But as for trying to shoot for the gaps and shoot for the stars, don't know necessarily if that will work out in its favor here. That certainly is a case to be had. Chantal, the throttle bottle in the Six Sigma Sim Racing, number 5 right now, holding down the 84 of Matthew Hoffert. Old Hoppy in the inspection station machine right now, looking to try to grab some ground, trying to grab some speed. No give or go though. Pratt still trying to get there to Shriver as well. The gap's only separated out by about 3.5 tenths of a second. And take a look at Pratt. Look at how tight. Trying to roll the corners, trying to roll the turns out, but look at how wide though he gets really out that part. Again, he's trying to get speed, trying to get more power by letting the car drift slightly up, but you go too far up and then you run the risk of getting yourself into what I will call no man's land down there, because that banking then travels almost to a kind of a flatter surface, only throws yourself for just quite a bit of a run. And that's the thing you don't want to get trapped into. You don't want to get yourself into that mess or into that situation. And it certainly makes the difference for some of these drivers, including this number 6 on Mike Rideout. You see the way he turns the car in and corners everything off. He's trying to be as smooth as can be. Trying to reel in and hone on the craft, trying to hone in on that speed. But the old Oak right in front of him too. I think it's really a good telling point for him to kind of know where to really rule the track off from. Well, you can feel the power, you can feel the drive, but now I think it's about time we kick this one up a notch. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is, you know what to do. Turn the loudspeakers up, let's crank it up. Seems as though the drivers, when they heard we were going to crank it up, and apparently they wanted to turn up a bit. They are seeing Robert Warren's back there battling hard with Stephen Clegg, Mike Rideout, and Daryl Klotz here. Meanwhile, up front right now, battle for second here. Chantel, the throttle puddle, and the 88 of Michael Pratt, the 88 Sun Drop Machine, going head to head. And Matthew Hofferlinger right behind there in that mix. Puddle so smooth and clean throughout the season. Remember, 2 wins back to back for her so far. Although, for some drivers, they would say that was quite a drive she had to do at Thompson Speedway when she had to go head-to-head, not once, not twice, but 3 times on a restart just to keep up with the rest of the field and take down Mike Rideout and the one who leads the field out, and the Crusader, Christian Shriver. Shriver right now developing about a gap, a second and a 10th off from the rest of the field. Trying to, at this point, just keep the focus on and drive alive for himself. Bit of a different driving end too, as you see the steering wheel kind of corners off compared to what we were seeing earlier on. That could be due to a bumper of reasons there, but if I had to guess, probably more than likely, he's probably burnt up a lot of the right front tire just trying to stay ahead of the field. Now he's just hoping that if he gets caught up, they don't find a way to pass him so easily. Remember, this is a very tough track to pass on. Yeah, it's a 2-line group facility, but really, if you're being honest with yourselves, guys, where is the first line you think of when you got a circular track you're trying to think of and hold a line on? More than likely, it's the fastest groove. Where's the fastest groove? It's that bottom lane. And that's exactly what Daryl Klotz is trying to do, but Robert Warren's, because he saved the tires up, he's going to use that to his advantage. And he gets a great run right off the distance. Robert's starting to push the luck a little bit. Klotz, Clegg, and then backed into a downward spiral here to Jason Brent. Mechanical problems for the number 55. He's carking it out early. The old Oak, Jeff Oakes, the number 20, Dirty Mode Media. Trying to get off the back burners from last Thompson race. Ended up getting a few little nicks and backs there, but he has had a win so far this season as he managed to win it out at Five Flags Speedway in a long distance travel race. A little bit of controversy mixed in there, unfortunately, as a late caution kind of got trapped between him and the 95, but both drivers coming out fairly unscathed and clean from there, and both drivers making a complete statement to try to take control of their season and their races to gain more traction and ground to get to a championship. Yeah, if you thought it was crazy enough just trying to fix this one in, get going there, you should know it. Deborah Shriver says, this is your race, 14. Well, the 14 right now may have the lead, but he still has a little bit of gap left. Still a second and 2 tenths to deal with on the throttle Chantel Bottle. The gap is starting to close off a bit too. The 5 saving tires and now trying to burrow the speed around. Meanwhile, back ahead of him, Michael Pratt fell victim early. Now looking to fight back quick. Hofford stuck on the outside line. That's not a line he wants to be at. It trapped him earlier in a lot of hard work on that right side. And the right front tires again taking a beating. Pratt jumping in. The sun drop. 88 drops in and drops out. Beautiful run there by the 88. Man, you got to tell about Michael Pratt as a driver, man. This guy can get it done when he needs to, and he's been known to put a whole lot of speed and antithesis on controlling the car when he absolutely has to, and he's doing exactly that, and then some again. But he knows the old Hofford is trying to get to his bumper, trying to increase the lead. Encase themselves in that speed, encase themselves in that drive. Meanwhile, Robert Warren's switching from the Cheetos machine. It's just a Cheetah no more. It's the Kiss Demon in the 95. Which honestly has the graphics of what of a monster truck. I call it a Screaming Demon that I know of, and that is not a bad little side note there. It's actually a pretty cool design, I'll give him that. You can see the gap between Daryl Klotz and Steve Clegg there from Mike Rideout's cam. But there's what Rideout really cares about, which is getting back to that 95 there. But you can see just how much the tar corners off. Look at the steering on that right there. Notice every time he turns in, look how much more steering he's incorporating in. Again, he's just trying to get the car to hold line. While Warren's, you see, almost kind of looks like he just kind of turned into the corner already, and he's just keeping her straight on its nose and straight on its backside here. And look at this now, rotating around, back to the back, middle to the top. Jeff Oaks, the old Oak, he's hard charging, 6 spots up. He started 10th. He's got 23 laps left to make a statement, and the fuel and the tires right now starting to tear up some drivers. Mike Rideout in the 76 on the pit road because of it. Oaks to the inside, big run off the side. And Pratt cleared it. Pratt couldn't quite hold off the old Oak. Jeff is extremely clever when it comes to trying to save the tires and get the fuel run going, but he also knows a thing or two on trying to outsmart the field, trying to outrace them. It's just as he can pay off here, and that's exactly what he's hoping for. Pratt way wide, right off the distance. Again, they can get you some speed if you got tires. He doesn't have tires, so he's pretty much using up whatever was left in there. Warren's now looking to deal in a little bit. Slight tap there coming up forward. Hoffert, Warren's, and Pratt battle for the 4th spot. And Pratt with a little bit of an overtake there, shot back up. And Hoffert gapped up. Warren's gets the run through the corner. Big time move there. Michael Pratt unfortunately just couldn't quite get the car to take a set. Look at the right front on that thing. It's dug in. It's actually having some problems down there. He may have a little bit of a tire going down. But Warren's now has an even tougher challenge on his hands. He's got to go head-to-head against Matthew Hawk. He's got to go head-to-head against Jeff Oaks. Go head-to-head with him and head-to-head in the position. A little puff of smoke there as Steve Clay goes to pit road. Looks like Darrell Klotz may have a little bit of a problem down there, unfortunately. As Warren's goes to the inside, deeps the corner off. Robert Warren's gets a good pass. The old Oak letting him by. Good sportsmanship and racing between the two. But I guarantee you the old Oak probably thinking right now, I gotta try to make some moves here and quick. Maybe he's hoping for a bit of a break, a little bit of a ground clearance, maybe some chances to kind of stay alive. Warren's right now got it trapped in there with Klotz, as there is only 15 laps remaining. Quick race here, but the fuel and the tires certainly not made this one easy at all for him. Steve Glegg in that Gatorade 22, man, great seeing him back out on the track too, and it was good to really see some performance here from his camp as well. I guarantee you this isn't the last time we'll see him back on PT Racing TV. I think eventually you will see him really start to make a change, really start to make a bit of a name and a break for himself. But when that time comes, when will that be is the biggest thing for him. He knows how to race it with the hardest of drivers, and he knows how to take it down with the best of them. So right now, currently 2.5 seconds separating the 14 and the 5 off from the distance here. Mike Rideout though in the way. Matthew Hoffert trying to get his lap back here as Rideout tries to get away from Hoffert. Those two are currently in a bit of a heated battle while Pidle is kind of stuck in the middle of it. 2 wins throughout the last 2 weeks for that 5 camp. A whole lot of speed and a whole lot of drive led her to this moment yet again to be able to come for her home away from home. As she would put it to you, she loves racing this track. She loves to fight it out on this kind of racetrack. Says it kind of reminds her of the old dirt track days she used to do with her front wheel drive car, and used to be able to kind of shift around that bottom lane there. Right behind her, though, the Kiss Demon seems to be on a move. With 8 laps to go, Warren's looking to try and gap off the bridge. He's got Powder right in his sights. Coming right off through turn number 3 and 4. On the throttle, Chantal Powder now with Trumpany on her backside there, right on the right side. Warren's looking for the pass. How much tire did he save up? Did he save enough to make the clean cut? It's close. Got to roll it out there in the 5. cleared down. Bottle maybe trying to save the tire or the fuel, whatever it may be at the last minute. Whatever the case may be, it ends up costing her that spot. Orange jumps it ahead. Now Clegg off on the outside, looking to try to make the pass to the 5. Gets a good run off it. You can just see how low, too, that bottom lane is on the front straightaway once it gets a little bit off that track. It's so uneven and so out of pace, but there's only that one groove. It really makes a difference there. Down to the final 5 laps here with 4 to go here. Lap traffic coming up behind. Right out at Hoffert, battling quick, battling hard, right behind the leader. Driver got to be Gavin Deja Vu back to Thompson just a couple of weeks ago when he got destroyed there by Joe Nuttleman and off the back straightaway. Destroying the right front, had to get in and get it fixed, and then as soon as that happened, it was all game racing from there. This is a tough call here for Shriver. He's got to figure out something, either let him by or race it out to the end. I think he's going to choose the latter bit, race it out to the end. These two in his mind can get by him. Will that be enough time, though, as a white flag comes off from turn number 4? Only one win last season, but it was enough to get him to a championship. Can he finally get it done here off of 3 into turn 4? It will indeed. He's going back to victory lane. The Crusaders back in the kingdom. One big drive off from point A to point B. Thompson, a bit of a hit for that 14. And now on a track he has never won the late model stock on, let alone a late model in general. Finally is put in his rear view mirror. A huge, huge victory for the Crusader camp here, and a rough ride for some. Robert Warren's having to start all the way from the back, charge into second. The throttle Chantel Bottle showing why she can get it done here at Oxford. The Old Oak with a great performance there. Ends with this climactic sequence of events. Here are your race results here. The Crusader wins it. Robert Warren's going to go second. Chantel Bottle third. Jeff Oakes goes fourth. Gerald Klotz fifth. Mike Rideout sixth. Seventh to Matthew Harvard. Eighth to Stephen Clegg. Ninth to Michael Pratt. 10th to Jason Brent. That rounds out the top 10 drivers today. Race fans, what a show, what a day it has been here in Oxford, and the show must go on. When we come back to you, it will be on the Facebook Live section. Get ready, more short track racing coming your way. It's Richmond Raceway, and it's Go Racing League 7500 Truck Series Grassroots Racing coming up here in just a little while, but congratulations to the 14 and all the drivers for the Pit Stall Monday Night Series for coming out today. We'll see you next time.